In this video, I really want to elaborate on how I taught a class without exam scores. Let's go back to that first day of school. This is me talking to my students. In this class, when it comes to exams, I don't care. What exams will tell me is that you're good or bad at exams. That's what exams are good at determining. However, we all know that in this class, a state exam is required. The math department of this school requires periodic assessments. It's not my choice. We're going to have exams in this class. However, every exam that I give you, you can retake for full credit. Unlimited attempts, unlimited credit. Are there any questions? If we can retake the test, do we get to retake the same test? Or do we have to take a different version of the test? And I would say, why the same test, of course. And this gets students really excited. And I say, let's imagine a world where I don't allow you to take your tests. You come back, you say, oh, Mr. Chronicles, I'm so distraught. I really studied hard for my test and I got a D. Is there anything I can do to retake this test? And I say, no, it's a test. You should have studied harder. I'm sorry, a D's a D. Better luck next time. And what do you do with that test? You take it. What good does that do you anymore? You can't learn anything from it. It's worth nothing. You can't take it home. You can't look at it. It's not going to give you any credit. And we all know that the grade is what matters. So you toss it. Why would I allow you to throw away a learning opportunity? I don't want you to throw this away. I want you to study this. I want you to know every mistake that you made. I want you to know how to make this better. That's not just how you learn. That's how the real world works. Whoever submits a paper to a journal, the editor sends it back and says, you need to revise these things, so it's gone. You have no chance. You're fired. That never happens. You submit your paper, you're told revision is needed, you revise the same paper and you resubmit the paper. I'm not a journalist though. I am a software developer. I write code. If I run the code and the code doesn't compile, the program doesn't work, I get an F. I don't throw the program out and start all over again, making a brand new program. I go back and I fix the mistake where I left off. I revise the work that's already existing. I don't throw it out. Why would I teach my students to throw it out when I could teach them to look over their mistakes and learn from it? So yes, take the same mistakes you made and suddenly something that's a piece of trash becomes the instrument of learning. That is what I'm going for. Now at this point, the class wants to party, right? They want to have a parade in my honor. This is going to be the easiest class ever. But then I am a buzzkill because I say, however, and everybody sighs, there are assessments that you can't retake. These assessments are, and I list the kinds of assessment that I believe are representative of how the real world operates. Partner assessments, group assessments. And they all want to know what the heck is a partner assessment and a group assessment. On the first day of class, I describe them all. In this video, I will describe them in sequence as I talk about the student response to each type of assessment. So 3 assessments: traditional assessments, partner assessments, group assessments. Now this is something that I only did in geometry, and the reason I only did it in geometry was because we had department-wide assessments that I had to do periodically. If I didn't have to do the department-wide assessments, I would have done no traditional exams at all, like I did in my computer science class where there were no department-wide assessments. So in computer science, I tell them they don't ever need to retake an exam because there are no exams. And yet, my students took an AP exam. Why would I do no practice for an AP exam all year long? And how would they do on the AP exam at the end of the year if I haven't been practicing tests? What am I gonna do? All right, so let's be real here. Let's suppose you've got a year that has 9 units in it. Traditionally, what you'll do, end of unit 1, exam 1, end of unit 2, exam 2, end of unit 3, exam 3, and so on and so on. So you get to the end of the 9th unit, you take exam 9, and now it's time for the final review for the AP exam. Let's do this. What do you guys remember from unit 1? Nothing. They remember nothing from Unit 1. They remember nothing from Unit 2. What do they remember? They remember the things from Unit 9. Well, why is that? If we do exams all year long and all these, I've got so many great grades. I know you guys know this material. You got an A on Unit 1 way back in September. Why don't you remember it? Because students aren't trained to remember material 9 months later. Students are trained to remember a material for the exam that's imminent. So then why, if your ultimate goal for the course is to get ready for an end of year exam, why are you wasting class days testing material that you know will be forgotten in June when it counts? Just give up the days, use them instructional days, finish the year earlier, and then you're freed up to do what I did. In my class, we had no exams until 1 month before the AP exam. And that's where I said to my students, I told them this on the first day of class, by the way, that this was how my course was structured. We have a big exam. So we're gonna start taking our tests now. So in my class, we would split one exam up over several days. When they're done, they have a score. And they have something that you can say they might get on the AP exam. So you say to the student, you're probably gonna get a 2. You're probably gonna get a 3. You might get a 4, whatever it is. And then they ask, so what does this mean for my grade? And you look at the calendar and you say, well, you were here on Monday, and Tuesday, and Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday. And you took the exam every day this week. Congratulations, you have a 100. You said, I'm only going to get a 2 though. My score is terrible. I missed three-fourths of the questions. You say, well, yeah, did you try? Well, yeah, I don't know a lot. I tried. Well then, good. I want you to learn from your mistakes. We're taking another exam next week and you have another chance to get a 100, but I want to see you take that 2 up to a 3, or if not, I want you to increase your score by this many points. That's your goal. That's what I want you to aim for. How encouraging is that for the student? They no longer have to worry about where they are. They only have to worry about where they can be. How can they get one step higher? That's the incentive. You can start saying, hey, you know what? You can pass. In fact, if you grow enough, you could probably pass by next week. And then the week after that, we might be looking at 4 and 5 territory if we play our game right. What's your strategy going to be? And then you start discussing with the students what their strategy is. You know what? You did lower on the multiple choice than you did on the free response. How can we raise our multiple choice score? Who can you work with? How can we study this material? What do you need in order to review? How can we look back on the material you did earlier this year in order to review the concepts that you missed out on the free response question number 3? What other resources do you have? Have you read this article online? Did you see this on the class resource website? All of these things the student can start to consider and start to build a case, a stronger and stronger case for improving their score. Not getting a 4, not getting a 5, improving their score. And then you start to get the kids really excited about it. And they start to see pathways to success that they wouldn't have seen if they had been given a D. They wouldn't have seen it. You know why? Because what happens when you get a score that you can't fix? You throw it away. But suddenly you say, let's work on this. Let's improve this. And you start to open doors that no teacher has ever opened for them before, because teachers are too afraid that this strategy isn't going to work. They're afraid that students are going to step over them and take advantage of them, or they're going to be lazy and not take their class seriously. But students don't want to do that. Students want to be successful. Who doesn't want to be successful? Who doesn't want to be perceived as successful? Who doesn't want to take a 4 or a 5 home to their parents? All they need is a realistic set of goals and strategies to get them there. And if you are willing to throw grades out the window and just say, I don't care about grades, I want to see you improve, all of a sudden that student sees you as their hero and they are willing to work harder for you. It's amazing. This is the way to teach. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit excited. Let's take it back. All right. Now, I'm just so stoked about sharing exam strategies. All right. I got totally stoked about that. And I talked about it a little bit more than I wanted to, and I couldn't cut it down. It was just too exciting for me. So if you want to hear more about how I do the alternate forms of assessment, check out my next video. Give this one a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.